the thing that was the icing on the cake for Ann with me, there's been several things that have happened. And the last year or so, she's been in every court and every courtroom walking around trying to figure out what's going on because she didn't have a clue in any of the criminal courts. So she's been present in a lot of them to try to develop a great amount of experience in a short amount of time. And you can't do that unless you're trying cases. Period.
And live in the case.
It's trial by fire. I mean, until you try cases, you're not a trial attorney.
Yeah. And, Rodney, I don't think people know really the amount of time. We think normal people, regular people, citizens, we think that lawyers are overpaid. Now, and I did too. Full disclosure here.
Some are.
I mean, some are shysters.
Oh my God.
They always, there's a lot of jokes about defense lawyers. However, Mike Jones was smart enough in the past not to burn any bridges, and ended up with awesome representation from Mark Griffith and Dan Gus. But what y'all don't know is people like Rodney, when they accept a case. And you think, they tell you this case will be, let's just say $6,000. You're not there at 1 o'clock in the morning when they're putting some of this stuff together. I'm absolutely serious when I tell you this, that there is no time in all the time that I was being represented that any one of those lawyers went home at 5 o'clock. They didn't clock out. If they're not working on my case, they're working on 3 or 4 other different cases because it's all calendar scheduled type of deal. But they have to put so much into every case, every single case, regardless if it's a Class C or it's a felony. They live this case with their client. So you're paying for their education, but you're paying for their advocacy. And they'll get up there and they'll give you 100%. I promise you, if they don't give you 100%, you should have been able to be a judge of character before you pick that guy. But if not, get you another lawyer. I will tell you, these guys, we kid around and we joke and we bullshit and all that. He will give 100% and live your case. So it's not about the money. How much is it worth to keep you out of jail? How much is it worth to keep your name? Do you want to bargain with your heart surgeon? He tells you it's going to cost you $10,000 for a heart surgery, and you say, well, can you do it for $8,000? I don't want the $8,000 heart surgeon. I want the $10,000 heart surgeon. So you're getting training, cognitive intelligence, and they're directing it all in your behalf. So y'all go into that with that kind of mindset next time, because I was sticker shock too.
Well, nobody gets rich doing family or criminal law because you earn every penny. The guys that make the big money are personal injury and wrongful death. And, there are a lot of those guys. They make a ton of money. We were in a mediation one time. We had a personal injury case, and we were in mediation. And some of the attorneys in the room were Dallas lawyers and out-of-state lawyers. And, they're $600-800 an hour guys. Well, I'm not. I was $300 an hour. But we took the case on contingency. So, we're not making any money. Unless we win the case, we're not making any money.
Right.
But I remember my nephew was there, and he's an attorney's big time lawyer.
Is that the one down there in
Houston? And I texted him and I said, who are these guys over here? And he named them off, and he said, those guys make $700-800 an hour. And I said, well, we're texting. I said, why are they making $700-800 an hour? Because they didn't look that impressive to me. I said, I should be making that. He said, well, you could make that. He said, you could probably get a job up there, but I would imagine within 24 hours they would politely ask you to leave. Because he didn't seem to think I would fit in well in that. I wouldn't. Because, I'm not comfortable around those kind of civil attorneys.
Yeah. Diplomatic is not your strong suit.
Tact is where I've had to work on a lot. Law school is very helpful for that.
Sure it is.
Because our system is one
it's
big
argument.
It's a
give
argument.
And take.
Just one big argument. But I've learned, that there are times, don't get me wrong, there are still times when Rodney Ramsey has a fit, and it's known.
When the Ramsey clan comes up?
I had a rant one day up there, and I was upset. And it was because they were there was an elderly lady who's like almost 100 years old, and her son was, drug addict, and he wanted to get basically grandmother didn't have a guardianship, and the granddaughter had her, and he wanted to get her back because he wanted to live in her house, and we had this big fight because he wanted to just get the house and her money and all. So I'm fighting for this old lady not to go into a nursing home because her family still wants her out.
Yeah.
And it was a fight. And the attorneys, we were in a side room, and I had a bunch of medical information that, I hadn't admitted it yet. It's not an admissible form. We're not at that point. But, I was telling the other attorney, look at this. You see that all of this information proves that this lady was not competent when she signed a will previously. She wasn't competent. She's had all these issues. She's been living with this family. And the guy goes, well, those aren't an admissible form, civil lawyer. And I go, okay, we're going to do it that way then? And it started. And I am hot, pissed off, leaning across the table, yelling. And the other two are...
It says sheepdog mentality.
It's just us. Yeah, and they're backing up, and I was mad. I was mad, because I didn't want this little old lady to have to go to a nursing home for family wanting to keep her out.
Yeah,
you get emotional. You're not supposed to get involved. I did. And I was pissed. I got mad, and I stood up and jerked the door open because we were in one of the side rooms, and the court clerk coordinator was standing there, and I thought, oh, God almighty, because I was cussing, and I said, I am so sorry. I didn't know you were standing there, and she's like, oh, it's okay. So there's still times but it has to be necessary.
Right. I mean, there's times for decorum. Obviously,
all the time. It's always. It's supposed to. We're all supposed to be gentlemen. The court system is supposed to operate in a very honorable fashion, and it doesn't always. And that's you have to have. And this will go right back around. If you have a good leader, you have good soldiers. And if the apple's rotten at the core, then you don't get the same degree of professionalism and character.
And that's the metaphor for our current DA's office.
It's got very serious issues.
Serious issues.
And the thing, I'm going to go right back to the apple straw that broke the camel's back was on your last bond when I was advised that they, I think Mark or somebody paid helping you. They were helping you. So you posted a bond. And Ann Montgomery called the bondsman and said, did you post that bond on, Mike Jones? And, of course, he said, yeah, of course I did. That's what he does. And she says, well, I hope you got your money up front because we intend to bankrupt it.
Yeah.
That's it, buddy. Because you know what? When the prosecutor crosses that line, this is personal now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're attempting to why would you say that? I mean, what's the purpose in that? How dare you say you're going to continue to file charges or you're going to stretch this out on a man to bankrupt him? That, to me, that's unethical.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's completely immoral.
It's criminal.
And at that point, I thought, who wants that for a district attorney?
Right.
Plain and simple.
If you want
to think that, if you're the DA and you want to think that, think that. But if you're dumb enough to say it, then now there's two issues.
Yeah.
Number one, you said it, and secondly, you were dumb enough to say it.
I'll give you a third. Not only were they that she said it, she was dumb enough to say it. She acted like there was no ramifications for saying it. Well, I'm the DA. I'm speaking for the DA.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
And that's true. Guess what?
And because of who her boss is.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you, if I'd have been DA and she said that, I'd have fired her.
Publicly.
Bye.
Yeah.
Walk out with your box and somebody else.
That whole office lost the integrity by that one phone call.
Absolutely. Because not everybody knows it. Now, some people will know it. I hope more people know about it. But there's a lot of things that people don't know that are going on down there, and there should, and we will. I want to save some stuff, and maybe we'll have another show. But
you can count on it.
I'm going to tell you right now, Ann Montgomery would be a nightmare as a district attorney. She's not qualified. She doesn't have the experience.
She'd be a nightmare as a private attorney.
She doesn't work well under stress.
Mm-mm.
If the pressure's on, and I'm surprised that someone hasn't questioned her at some of these public forums. If anyone steps up and asks her your name or anything about your case or anything about some other things, I think they'll get to see how well she'd work under pressure. And how much more pressure can you have than to be the district attorney? You're responsible. And here's the deal. My kids, my grandkids, something happens to my family, something happens to your family. Who do you want to be the chief prosecutor? Who do you want to be the boss? Somebody that you trust, that you know is honorable and has integrity, that has lots of experience, or do you want somebody that's completely inexperienced and has engaged in unethical conduct? I think the answer is easy.
Absolutely. And I've said it on here, Rodney. I don't want Mike Jones as DA. I don't want Mike Jones as judge. I don't want Mike Jones as precinct commissioner. I want honorable people in there that will keep Mike Jones on the line.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm gonna give my integrity. They have to raise their right hand, and all I want them to do is be honorable, regardless of what's going on with Mike Jones. If a case comes by that I send in, it's not righteous, and
Kick
I've
it.
heard something, kick it.
Yeah,
I don't want somebody to go, well, you know.
Well, you know, Ulysses not going to do that.
I do know that.
I had people say, well, you know, you should run for DA this time. You know, there'd be a great chance. And I said, I didn't even consider it. And then I found out Ulysses was going to run. And at that point, I said, I don't need to run because here's somebody that would be good.
Yeah.
So
And she's got years ahead of her.
Oh my
you
God.
know.
Yeah, I could.
You and
I
I,
could support her.
Yes.
And be as comfortable as if it were me.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I could. Yeah, I could. I don't want to run anymore, you know, because it's just too hard on my family. It's not hard on me because, you know, I only have one feeling left, and people can't usually find it, so you can't hurt it. But what it came down to, if let me put it to you this way: if I didn't feel Ulysses could do the job, I would have joined the race.